right on into it. So, starting in the top right-hand side, our Red Zerg player from Triumphant Song Gaming, it is Solar. Up against the blue Protoss player in the bottom left-hand side of the map, Creator, who unfortunately finished his group second place to Bly. Lost out pretty quickly in that series, but was pretty fast and pretty good when it came to playing the other games. I mean, he had a pretty close first series against Sol, but he looked pretty good in the rematch. And obviously Sol took out Gumiho in that group, which was the big shocker. So Creator getting through to the playoffs here, getting into the round of 8, which means prize money is confirmed already. So prize money already on the board for him, which is obviously something everyone is kind of happy about at times. As we do see our probe wandering across the map. I need to cough. I don't know what's going on. My throat's just sucked so much lately. Apologies, guys. Like I say, I don't know what it is lately, but every day I cast, I'm just like, my throat feels croaky. It feels rough. I'm kind of hoping 2 weeks away from casting, starting tomorrow actually, obviously, because I'm going to BlizzCon soon, is going to fix it a little bit, because it's not been fun lately, to be honest. So fingers crossed on that one. Alright, well, this hatch gas pool opening is getting going from Solar as we get into this ZvP, Zerg vs Protoss best of 5 series. Cybernetics core dropping down here. We saw Solar with some interesting matches in his games as well. He played against Bunny, which was kind of close, and kind of was very close against Vanya yesterday. But we didn't actually get to see any of his ZvP. But ZvP for Solar, back at the last Home Story Cup or so, was the most deadly matchup for him. It was so good. He was just so good at the mid-game timings, being very aggressive, and he was just able to pick up win after win off of aggression at that kind of time. So we'll see what he does in this series here against Creator. We'll see what's going to happen as we do have the Overlord flying over into the natural expansion, of course, looking for some early information as to what's going on over here. Zergland Speed starting up on the spawning pool, so getting that going as well. This single probe just out the front is having a little patrol around and just also seeing what is going on as we start up this first game. So Stargate from Creator is a pretty regular way to get this started, of course, and gives him a couple of options. Probably just going to be some oracles, but we'll see how many oracles he makes, because that will change what the follow-up here could be quite heavily, of course, as we do see the Phoenix first. So he's going to look to deny this Overlord and then move into oracles, probably just 1 or 2 oracles then, and then moving in towards tech beyond this, which would typically offer Stargate then be an Archon drop or so. It's kind of one of the funnest and easiest ways to follow up and keeping yourself safe, etc., etc. As Overlord wanders in towards the main, Phoenix is able to deal a little bit of damage here already, so Overlord taking some shots. Just going to be seeing the Overlord going to go down in a moment or two, so I guess the information right. I guess to see there's an Oracle as a follow-up here as well. So yeah, did they remove the unit image inside of Stargate? Am I really slow and dumb? I really didn't realize that. Well, I thought that was still a thing. Huh. Well, maybe that's just me being somehow very misinformed. Rubber Facility in the Twilight Council dropping down. As Creator sets up his follow-up, as you see 2 Adepts are already out and moving around the bottom side of the map, seeing where they can go. Phoenix working its way through this Overlord Queen on the Phoenix as well, dealing some good damage, and just going to be seen as, well, 12 Zerglings and 2 Overlords start up. A good amount of army on the way out from Solar, just making sure he's ready for, any Adepts that might run in at this sort of time. In the end, it was just the 1 Oracle, which means you get very quickly in towards the Robo and the Twilight, so 2 Stargate units is pretty much where you want to be. If you're going into an Archon drop, 2 Stargate units is where you kind of want to cut it off, because otherwise, the rest of it just comes down so much later. As you see, 3 extra gates, Temple Archives dropping into play, Warp Prison, Charge, all of this on the way up. Zerglings running around the right-hand side, the Phoenix coming down to the bottom. And the land, the Rotron, going to be done soon for Solar as, well, with 4 extra gateways, this is pretty aggressive out of Creator, 6 gates in total. It's not quite all-in territory, it's just heavy pressure territory where you're going to be taking a third behind this absolutely, but you will, with the two Archons, be warping in rounds of Zealots to try and deal some damage. Now these Lings go running in. Now Oracle's already going to have to be using its energy here. Actually gets a surround on the Adept before the second pylon came up, so there was not a proper little wall in there to choke the Adepts up, and that's a real shame, because that's something which, if these Lings hit like a few seconds later, this would have been so much better, as we see the Ling's able to turn around now and go for this probe, and probe will go down. Where's that Warp Prism gone? Up on the top side, that's where the first High Templar are already warping in. Solar goes into an infestation pit real quick here. I mean, that's a really, really quick infestation pit. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. We see some extra drones on the way out, 5 more roaches coming in. The Zerglings of Solar just heading down through the bottom, or to the bottom left-hand side of the map. Warp Prism coming up to the top side. I'm just going to see again a couple of Lings are trying to run by into the natural. Roach speed, +1 missile attack upgrade, all on the way out as we see these units into the main base then. So let's see what's going to happen with that Queen. In position to defend initially. I mean, kicking the Roaches. Yeah, he loses the Oracle. It's not the end of the world, but obviously you're trying to warp in Zealoty. You've built 6 gateways, so you're trying to be aggressive at the same time, and that's not working at all. There is a few Zealots on this right-hand side pushing into the third base where, you know, they're going to get a couple of kills actually, but as more units come over, there's no way to, you know, support these. There's no Archons or anything, so it becomes a little bit rough for you. He's going to go running towards the third base, or the fourth base, sorry, and that means he's going to get the Archons back with this army, so Creator will start to get aggressive. And this time he's got 4 Archons, so turns this into quite an aggressive push. Remember behind us, Immortal in production, Forge on the way. This is not all in, there is a plan behind this from Creator. And as the Warp Prism taking some more damage, he needs to make sure he gets away with at least 2 of these Archons though. If you lose all 4 of these Archons, you're in some trouble. Losing 2, not the end of the world, although did he really do enough to justify losing 2? Resources lost would say not really. So actually, this makes this defense a little bit tricky because Solar is going to go across the map. He has quite a lot of units. He's obviously cleaned out a lot here. Lings are already into the main base, so that's going to be very frustrating to deal with. And at the same time, he's going to have to deal with the Roaches going towards the third base. So Creator has to deal with Solar continuing to be aggressive here. And as we're going to see our Archons dancing up and down in the prison. Ravager going to be morphing in and just going to be seeing a couple of extra Zealots going down. I mean, Ling's just already cleaned out this entire mineral line on the natural. It looks as though this is going to be a quick, easy cleanup for Solar as everything just drops down. I mean, Archon after Archon going down. These couple of, a single mortal that is out is not doing much. And there you go. Solar behind that one. And as we jump into game number 2 here, we kick this off and have a look to see what's going to happen. Quick update from Mana and Zest. Mana and Zest have gone 1-1 in their best of 5, so Mana and Zest now tied up 1-1 in the other quarterfinal that is currently being played. Unfortunately, we have no stream on that, but I will hopefully endeavor to get you guys some updates, maybe even some replays of it at some stage. We'll see how today's stream gets going. So yeah, that's Mana Zest 1-1 tied up, as we are here in game number 2 of Solar versus Creator, as they go typing away at each other early on here. Patrick dropping down onto the natural. We're just going to see the Overlord passing across the map. Gateway on the way up. Maybe could just cast Mana vs. S on YouTube. I might actually. It's actually not a bad idea because I've been a little bit stuck for YouTube content for when I'm going away. I want to have uploads pretty much every day while I'm away on YouTube. And I'm struggling a little bit, so it's actually not a terrible idea to maybe cast that one, and maybe, again, we're not going to cast both the quarterfinal, 2 of the quarterfinals will be cast, so maybe also Hurricane Bly we can put up over on the YouTube channel while I'm away. Not a bad idea. Well, I also have Zest Innovation from the Alpha X Pro series show matches. I've got those replays to go for YouTube, so that should be pretty cool. I got a few replays. Obviously, got some Alimo League and stuff. I'm going to be basically a couple days before I go, so tomorrow and Friday, I'm going to be doing a lot of replay casting and getting ahead on a lot of that stuff, you know. That's the plan, at least. Just trying to get as much up as possible. We'll obviously have some uploads from the WardiTV Invitational 9 as well. We've had some good matches in this tournament. We really did, actually. Looking back on it, I was talking the other day about how a lot of these games were very back and forth, and how we had a lot of series just going the entire distance to like all 5 games and so on. Very, very cool. Well, Solar pressing in towards the natural expansion here. And it's just going to be hanging out in the nat as we do see the in-depth finishing up. Going to start shading out into the center. Third hatchery is on its way out. Robo facility dropping down in the main base. And again, this adept is just going to keep its way, or keep on its way, over towards the upper side of the map. So away goes our adept. Shading up there. Robo facility dropping down out of Creatus. Again, that robo facility up and running, and well, link speed on its way up as well. Sentry on the way out. So already the Sentry robo facility, it sort of sells the idea of aggression. Let's attack. Let's fight. So that could be maybe what we're going to start seeing out of Creator here, some sort of aggressive play. Or Prismilling, we'll just get into a little bit of a kind of feisty mood, but yeah, we'll see what the follow-up will be. So we've seen a lot of this kind of Stalker Sentry lifting into a Prism and going across the map lately. You know, clean out the Overlord first and then move across the map and see what you can do. It keeps the Sentry out of Overlord vision range, so the Overlord doesn't know what the follow-up unit is already. So it just keeps Solo that little bit in the dark, and there straight away. An Immortal starting up from Creator, so getting that started really, really quickly now. As we do have Solo's Lings heading down to the bottom side as link speed kicks in. We'll see if we can find any info that Overlord goes down. Without much really gained, this Sentry will now be seen at least by the Zerglings, so a bit of info for Solo. Kind of knows what this opening looks like. It's actually just one Stalker in the Warp Prism at the moment. There's 2 extra gates dropped down, and honestly expecting a lot more than just 2 extra gateways here as this Immortal production continues. Expecting 6 to 8. Solo going Nuitez Carapace will have full scouting of that very soon, but he's also getting the Rotoron up. No lair is the important part here. He knows it's a robo opening. He doesn't need lair like he would if it was an Archon drop of DTs, because then you need the Overseer just in case. So far so good. Solo's kind of making the right choices and doing the right things. He's getting Overlords up now, so he's going to be free on supply. But Creator's going to macro. He's going to drop the Twilight in the Forge, and this is not going to be the extra gates. This is not going to be the aggression we were expecting. This is just going to be a macro game. So he's got 2 early Immortals. The idea here is that you try and fake the idea of being aggressive. Where's the Twilight in the Forge? Is it scouted by this Overlord? It is not. These extra gateways actually really sell an idea of something I don't think is happening here from Creator. But as Solo comes into the front, he's going to see the Forge and the Twilight, and that is the information you need to know this is not a committed all-in, because that's a big investment to then not actually do anything with. So really good scouting here by Solo. I do wonder if these gateways he really wanted to put down, or what the plan was. It looks like he will, because he's going to take a later 3rd Nexus. No units moving over to help a probe take that position just yet, so kind of waiting on that still at the moment, as we do have the units here from Creator. Just going to pick up a couple of Creep Tumors. So a couple of Creep Tumors going down. Zerglings of Solo down the bottom side of the map, and well, he's getting a Bane Nest as well. He is gone up to 56 drones, so he knows he's a little bit safer against what was initially looking like aggression. As this Temple Archives comes in, we'll see if Creator still wants to commit to something kind of real aggressive here. I wouldn't imagine so. Depth warping in. That's a nice little run by into the main, mind you. He's going to get into some probe lines there, and well, that is going to be painful. So a couple probes will go down. It's a nice little run by again, a rescout of the main base again. Meanwhile, the 2 Immortals dropping over in the main, so Solo's taking some damage here. Queen pushed away. Queen's super low, by the way. If he's able to get that, that'd be just nice, you know. Able to get some extra damage. He's going to really go for this. He gets it. Nice play from Creator. I mean, you expect him to pick that up, right? It's super low. You've got 2 Immortals in the Prism. The Queen's the only anti-air. There should be no reason for you not to get that Queen, so that's well done. These are 2 more gateways, though, so this is now 8 gates. So in the end, the 3rd Nexus was a fake out. In the end, this is going to be just a later, it's a delayed attack, where you basically wait for charge and, +1 attack. And he's very committed to this because there's no 3rd Nexus, there's no probing behind it. You can absolutely, as charge and +1, finish poke and prod and have a look around, but with 8 gateways and no 3rd Nexus, you're just looking to end this game, and that's what Creator will go for right here and right now. Baitland speed about to finish up from Solo. The thing is, Solo's got up to 66 drones because he knows this is a delayed all-in, right? This is not just a boom hit as soon as possible with 2 or 3 Immortals and Sentries. and because of that, he's gone up to a very strong drone count. He's on a good economy. He's got the tech such as Baneling Speed in play. Here you go with the Corrosive Flowers dropping on the force field. Banelings are going to come marching into this and get pretty good connections right away. There's still some Banes left. Oh my god, the War Prism goes down to the Corrosive Files. That's not pretty. That doesn't help anybody here. There's a couple of extra Banes rolling in, going to get picked away at, and well, that's just going to be GG, as we do have game 2 of this wrapping up in favor of series. So we start in the top left-hand side with our red Protoss player, who is down 0-2 on match point. It is Creator. And he's up against the Blue Zerg in the bottom right-hand side. Solar. Game 3 of this best of 5. It's the third final map of this series here. As we get this up and running on Acropolis. Can we just give the win to the Zerg now so we can find out who gets second? No, because then you don't get to enjoy the StarCraft games, which you'll also not get to enjoy if you keep complaining instead of just enjoying them. You know, I know Zerg's a little bit powerful at the moment. It doesn't mean complaining again and again is gonna fix it, you know? We already have a balance patch announced. Let's just enjoy the games for what they are at the moment. They're not bad, they're still entertaining. I'd say Solar's a pretty heavy favorite against Creator anyways, so it's not crazy that he's up 2-0 in the series. Why do people go Ravager Bane instead of Hydra Bane these days? Ravagers basically serve the exact same role of Hydras without the need for teching. And you can have a bit more versatility in your army where you can just keep a few more roaches if you'd like to. So, in general, people just... It's just one of those things. Overall, Ravagers are a little bit worse. So it kind of depends. If you can get into a game where you don't have to build into roaches early, then you can play Lingbane Hydra, and it's actually that it is a little bit better. But when you play into roaches early, you already have roaches up, then Lingbane Ravager makes a lot more sense because you're already set to go with the Ravagers. You already have a few of them in play. At that point, the question of is it worth checking into Hydras is probably no. And a lot of ZvP openers revolve around a Roach Warren defensively, hence why we see a lot of Lingbane Ravager nowadays. There was a time where you could kind of get away with just going into like Lingbane Hydra right away, or you'd build a defensive Roach Warren but not really build too many units. That meta has been and gone. So Lingbane Hydra is just a little bit underused at the moment. So, yeah. Will I be streaming during the WCS finals, or is it like vacation time for me? I'm going to be gone. I actually fly to California on Sunday to go to BlizzCon, and I'm going to be there for 10 days because I'm taking a vacation with my girlfriend at the same time. We're going to Disneyland and stuff, so we'll be. I'll be gone for Sunday the 27th until November 7th or so. That leaves a question mark of tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Obviously, the global finals is kind of early in the day, right? So there's nothing to stop me streaming. I just don't necessarily have anything to stream. There's not many tournaments on. I'm going to see how I'm feeling. Like, if I get kind of bored tomorrow, I might throw together a tournament in the evening, you know? But don't expect anything from me. Viewership's going to be low because everyone's going to be watching, like, WCS Global Final VODs. I might just hop on and do some fun community stuff, but it depends how I feel, because I might just take the extra couple of days off, you know? Because we've been streaming a lot lately, and it's been kind of a while since we've had days off in general, really. It's been kind of a crazy little month we've had here. Yeah, we took obviously the first few days of October off, but then we've streamed pretty much every day since then. We had one day off on 15th. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to do some more stuff because obviously I'm going away and I'll be away for 10 days already. But you know, I don't like. No, it's the difference of I'm already having a break, but I'm kind of ready just to start my break. So it's just the matter of I have nothing to stream. So we might, like I say, if depending on how I'm feeling, we might do like a community night or something, some arcade games, but nothing like there's not going to be any StarCraft tournament casting basically. We're just going to do some like community games or something along those lines, maybe discuss the global finals groups that were happened or stuff like that. It kind of just depends how my days go and what I'm up to and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. I do have to spend a lot of time preparing YouTube videos as well, though. That's one of the other issues. So I'm going to be preparing YouTube videos to make sure I'm uploading on YouTube while I'm away. So that will be happening. So if you're missing the Wardy content altogether, YouTube will still have stuff going on. So in that regard, I might already be kind of busy the next couple of days if I'm recording a lot of VODs, basically. But we shall see. Alright. So you do see a few lingers going in after the cyber core here. And a couple of Phoenix on the way out. Limites Carapace Lair. All on the way down. As we get this going. So a few lingers, couple drones, Lair, Evo Chamber. All coming into play right now. Robo Facility is ticking up. Double Robo Facility even in the natural expansion. At what time is the global finals today? It starts in like 12, 15 and a half hours or so, I think. So yeah, in 15 and a half hours, global finals will start. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be asleep. When I wake up, I'm pretty sure the group's going to be done, but I'll have to catch some of the VODs. But yeah, it depends where you're at. 5 AM if you're in the EU. It's reloading. Hey, this game, so obviously what happened here this time around, this double Stargate Star, I know we haven't talked much about this. It's a pretty passive game, but going double Stargate allows you to get a good Phoenix count up, and then going into double Robo as a follow-up is very typical and very standard. Because what the double Robo does is it puts you in a position where you can very quickly catch back up on a mortal count after these Phoenix have been made and kind of taken up your kind of production in the early stages. Solar knows about the double Stargate Phoenix and hence has already gone into a lot of drones, and so even when he's losing workers here, he's still sticking around that 70 worker marker. 75 drones at the moment is going to be seeing a few Phoenix picking up just bits and pieces. And that means that these Phoenix really just haven't done very much here early on. He's going to build a Spire for Corruptors, so the Corruptors can try and push the Phoenix back. He's going to go Hydralisks on the ground as well. The Phoenix coming in again and just trying to do a little bit more damage. A few drones going down. We're going to be seeing high alert. Then actually going to come down over on this side. So Soul's not afraid of hiding what he's trying to go into here. Getting in towards Lurkers. So Lurkers on the way up. This Queen going to get lifted. That's going to get taken down as well. And as Phoenix just continue to run away out. Back around the top side of the map. So Phoenix running out the top, where you see an Oracle dropping a Stasis Ward down, an extra Zealot and Sentry warped in. Again, Temple Archives charge, upgrades, all coming into play here as our Lurker comes up on the front of the third base. 8 Hydras on the way down. Full production continuing, +1 missiles, road speed, and groove spines all on the way up as our army of Creator comes into the middle of the map. So he's actually, I mean, 4 Immortals, he's trying to get aggressive. I mean, it's kind of like a pre-lurker timing, essentially. As you do see the Phoenix flying in. A couple of drones going down, and 4 workers killed. And Hydras will go down as well. Flying into the Hydras here doesn't go so well, though. The Hydra's able to target down a couple of Phoenix very quickly and very easily. Corruptors of Solar still going up to the top side, and the Immortal Sentry Zealot Force coming back over the left. Corruptors will start to caustic spray down at the Nexus here in the natural expansion. So a few Stalkers warping in underneath the Corruptors. And they will try and do what they can, but he just straight up loses a Nexus. I mean, that's kind of expensive. Obviously, the Hydras and Lings are coming across now as well to try and keep this push back. This is one of those scenarios where you can kind of get into Hydras very easily because of the way that your opponent plays early. You know, if you go double Stargate Phoenix and double Robo, splash damage isn't going to be around for a while. And so getting into Hydras is actually fairly successful compared to usual. That's a nice Stasis Ward, gets a couple drones, a Revelation on the way out. We'll keep track of if a Lair starts to build, or a Hive starts to build off of the Lair, of course. As you just see a few extra Lurkers morphing in to the middle of the map. An army, Zealot, Adept, and Immortal, pressing forwards into the center. Just coming opening up. Lurker's gonna burrow, and this is gonna be a... Immortal's taking some damage right away. I'm just not sure if there's what you really need here is Greater, right? It just feels like he doesn't have the buffer to deal with the Lurkers. Like, the Immortal count is good, but the Immortals are dying that quickly. It's not exactly pretty. Solo even takes the time to knock down these rocks during the fight. So the rocks get taken down, and this army continues to the left. Revelation drops down on this army as well, and I mean, that's what you kind of need. It's going to be the last attempt from Creator to try and break this, I think, because he just doesn't have that much left. And I mean, he doesn't even break it down. GG's, and Solo takes the series 3-0.